cool. Can we go there, Dad? I want to go. I asked my boss, actually, if we could have a team building exercise at that facility. That, I believe, is in Jordan. It is a site for special operations forces from around the world to train, and Canadian troops came out near the top. They are the top in the free world. Chris Sims has been following this story for us online and joins us now from Halifax. Chris, third. Canada is third, the Canadian Special Operations Regiment, behind Chinese Special Operations Forces and the Chinese Snow Leopard Unit. I really wish we were first, but first in the free world, not bad.
Shabby, eh? They really kicked some butt over there, and this is the Canadian Special Operations Regiment, otherwise known as CSOR. They're a group of guys, about 500 or so of them, highly top secret. They work very closely with JTF-2, Joint Task Force 2. They're based out of CFB Petawawa, not far from where you're from, and they participate in this Warrior Games every single year. This is the 5th year that it's been going on in Amman, Jordan, and really interesting. Imagine playing guns in this location. They've got mock-ups.
This is just awesome. I mean, I want to go. I don't think they rent it out for birthday parties, though.
No, but pretty close. I mean, they are a private company, and they rent out their training facility to police operations, special forces units, you name it. So, and also whenever they have the annual military hardware show, imagine, a bake sale, but instead of cookies, it's, tanks and jets and that kind of stuff. They have it there too. And it's actually in the middle of the desert. It's carved into this big canyon. They've got mock-ups, full-scale mock-ups of buildings, gas stations, passenger jets, you name it, and they train things like taking out hijackers on a plane, how to get on there and take out the bad guys and not, the civilians sitting there as passengers. They show you how to clear rooms, how to rappel from helicopters and do it the best and the quickest. And Canada came out on top of the free world. They came in third. Too bad that the Chinese beat us. That's a little bit concerning, but we came out on top.
Well, but again, top in the free world. But let me touch on something you said there. I mean, I'm just drooling over this because it looks like so much fun. But there's a very serious side to this. You said they trained for things like going into a passenger jet that's been hijacked. This is serious training exercises that they do, the type of things that Canadians would want their special forces to be involved in if and when something happens.
Exactly. Also, how to rescue hostages in a hostile situation. I mean, it looks gung-ho and fun, but when you actually think about it, you'd need to practice this sort of stuff over and over again. I mean, you can't really think of something more tricky than, a hostage taker, as a civilian by the neck, or somebody who's taken over a plane. How do you take those people down? Sky marshals particularly train here very, very often. And you don't hear about this sort of thing anywhere else. And it's really cool that Canada came out top in the free world. And what's interesting is that you phone the Department of National Defense. And it's like, so can we get an interview about how, they came out on top of the free world, placed third? Nothing. We cannot confirm or deny the existence of this unit. They don't want to mention anything. No, but then you find the Jordan Times online. It's like, it was awesome. Canada said it was fun. I mean, in the age of the internet, they can't hide anymore. All
right. So this is a sign that Canada's come a long way. In 1990, is going back in the Wayback Machine of my memory. In 1990, I was in the reserves, and we got sent off to training exercises. And these guys from what was then known as Special Service Force showed up, the SSF. And they did not leave an impressive mark on me, because the first thing they showed us was how to make hooch out of our ration packs. They're like, okay, well, you got to have the sugar because that's your agent to get the alcohol going, and you got to do this. They were trying to get us to be alcoholics. Obviously, a level of professionalism has come a long way since then.
They've probably always been elite, Brian. They just didn't want to show you their training, or they'd have to kill you. They could tell you, but then they'd have to kill you.
Well, they were there to teach us how to do this.
Sure. Really, Canada has been, their special forces, they've changed names over the years. I mean, these guys, this special regiment actually traces its roots back to the Black Devils, which was the joint task force between Canada and the United States that started during the Second World War. The Nazis called them the Black Devils because they were so afraid of them. They would attack you in the middle of the night, and apparently had good success in taking out the Nazi soldiers. And so they actually trace their roots back to there. So does JTF-2, so does the former and now disbanded Patriot Airborne Regiment, and apparently they've often placed very high on these international competitions. The thing that's too bad about it is that you rarely hear about it. It's so inside the jargon beltway of military speak.
It is, much like the gentleman that you've spoken to several times. I believe he's an Edmonton police officer now. Tell us about him, and we'll leave you at that, but tell us about him. He was a Canadian sniper who had, for the longest time, a world record.
That's right. That's Corporal Rob Furlong. He was in Afghanistan, and he's just an amazing sharpshooter sniper. He managed to take out Taliban from over a kilometer away who were about to ambush Americans from above. So he saw these Taliban from way far away. They were about to drop down on this American troop, and he took them out from that far. The Americans awarded him the Bronze Star. Canada kicked and screamed and dragged their feet and tried to cover it up for years and years and years, and finally gave him a mention in dispatches, which, I mean, just doesn't compare to the Bronze Star as far as awarding somebody and recognizing somebody for their brilliance.
I understand operational security, but Rob Furlong's name should be a household name, and we should know more about the great work and the bravery of our troops. But Chris Sims, I know you'll stay on top of this and keep us abreast. Thanks.
You're welcome.